So Mr. A owes you money and you want to recover your money by using the Nigerian police, or you want to report the matter to the Nigerian police. Before you do that, please watch this video. In this video, I'll be sharing with you practical legal ways that you can use to recover your debts. Let us now examine the subject matter of debt recovery. So debt recovery is primarily a civil subject. It is an important aspect of financial and business management. Yes, so having established this, you now know that in Nigeria, creditors often employ the use of the Nigerian police or any security force in order to threaten, harass, or intimidate their debtors. This is not good practice. It must be noted at this point that the Nigerian police is not a debt recovery agent. However, where it involves apprehension of harm to the life of the creditor or debts to the creditor, that is where the Nigerian police can come in. Now, for a money claim to qualify as a debt, first of all, it must be a specific sum with a specific due date for repayment, and there must have been a demand for repayments made by the creditor to the debtor, and the debtor has maybe failed or neglected to make that payment. Here are practical ways that you can employ in order to cover your debt legally. Number one, you employ the ADR method. That's the alternative dispute resolution method. You either negotiate with the debtor or mediate. A mediator can stand in between you and the debtor to mediate on how the debtor can make payments. This is usually to maintain the relationship that you have with the debtor if you are a creditor in this case. Where this does not work, you can then proceed to engage the services of a lawyer. At this point, you have to provide some form of evidence, that is documents, receipts, invoices, letters, correspondences, whatever you have at your disposal, in order to prove that indeed there is a debt to be paid. At this point, the lawyer will look at it and then be able to determine whether the money claim qualifies as a debt. Where this is now done, the lawyer can then proceed to file an action to recover the debt, and the courts will now make an order in your favor. That's if it goes in your favor. The courts will make an order for the debtor to make repayments. Where the debtor neglects or still fails to make repayments, your lawyer can now file a garnishee proceeding before the court or a writ of fife in order to enforce the judgment order of the court. So usually the garnishee proceeding involves attaching the account of the debtor, where there is of course money in the account. The account of the debtor will be attached, and of course you can then get your money from there. But the distinction I have to make at this point between garnishee proceeding and a writ of fife. A writ of fife involves an order made by court to the debtor, allowing the debtor to go into property or sell or seize the property of the debtor and sell them in order to get back his money. Now, at this point, if the debtor is a company or a bank or a financial institution, you can bring a bankruptcy proceeding or creditors winding up action in court, or the court can compulsorily wind up the company where the company is failing, or the company is a debtor, in order to recover the debts from the debtor. Of course, that is in this case a company or financial institution. At this point, the court will now appoint a liquidator or a trustee, and the work of this trustee or liquidator is to be able to sell or liquidate the assets of the company, bank, or financial institution. And then, where the assets are liquidated, the proceeds from that liquidation will now be distributed amongst the creditors. Yes, if you followed this video to this point, it means you found this video interesting. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you have more inquiries or you have questions, please leave them in the comment section and we will of course get back to you. I must however note that if you bring an action before the court, it must be concluded between lifespan of 6 years. Or if you have a debt that you wish to recover, you must commence an action within the period of 6 years from the time the matter arose. Where this is not done, that matter will be statute barred and, of course, struck out by the court. So, you must put all of these steps into consideration, and in order to recover your debt without having to use the police. In fact, it should be avoided completely. Avoid using the police to recover your debts.